Please request the needed firewall.
All right, what's happening, everybody? It's your main man, Unc Corey, whatever you want to call me. Stop, Ace. Leave me alone. Right now, we doing this interview. I'm here with my main man, Travis. Wilkerson, straight out of Greenville, Mississippi. Resident.
Mississippi.
You know what I'm talking about? Resident
Boy,
of the
you a
state of
fool with
Texas for the longest. Been here with about almost
15 years.
15 years. We just trying to get into some things, just trying to understand who people are today. Welcome to Conversation Us. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I'm your host, Corey, you know what I'm saying? AKA Quarantine Corey, whatever you want to call me. So we gonna Travis, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
I mean, Travis. I like he stated, grew up in Greenville, Mississippi, born in Hollandale. I mean, it's just been I don't know. I mean, I'm not good at talking about myself. Just ask me questions, bro.
Okay. Well, let's just dig into it, for a little bit.
This.
So, no, we good. So, first question, I guess you would say, what or who were some of your main influences growing up as a child?
My main influences, I would probably have to say my grandmother and my mother. My grandmother, Letty, was like the sweetest lady you'll probably ever meet. I mean, really sweet lady. She had 11 children. She had
that's a blessing.
4 girls, 7 boys. My mother, Mary, my auntie Leanne, Viola, Angie, my uncles, and she never learned how to drive, so she never drove a car in her life.
Wow, yeah, I have auntie like that. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I just
had to be taken everywhere she went, if not walking.
Right. But they always found a way to get there. You hear?
Always found a way.
Really?
Never had a problem. Kept food in the house, kept food in our bellies.
So
and yeah.
What growing up, you already seen one, I guess you say, experienced some of the setbacks when you said that your grandmother never really learned how to drive. But what are some of the, I guess you would say, setbacks you've seen your parents or your grandparents or your uncles go through that, whether business or personal, just that help mold you into, I guess you would say, making better decisions?
Well, my uncle Michael, rest in peace. I have to say my uncle Michael. So back when we were growing up, my uncle Michael was he was a contractor, so he was working with his hands. And I remember when we were little kids, me, my brothers, and my cousins, we used to be the cleanup crew.
Mm-hmm.
And so my uncle was getting his business off the ground. They remodeled my grandmother's house. Not really on the inside. They did some stuff on the inside, but mostly roofing. They did replaced all the windows and kind of added a little area on in the back.
Right.
And so we were out pushing wheelbarrows and basically like the cleanup crew. And so I probably was 10 or something at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like the youngest of the group. So from then on, I continued to work with my uncle like during the summers.
Right.
And just like on weekends sometimes.
Getting that easy money.
So I started just still like clean up. Around about 12, I learned how to drive a truck, taking the like trash and stuff from like the site to like a little dumpster that was down the street, like up the road.
So you hauling trash at 12?
Hauling trash at 12.
Already. That's called hustle right there.
Let me see. So continue to work with my uncle from there. About 13, I started really working with some tools. So we started laying floors. So I learned how to lay floors, learned how to cut tile.
Okay,
At the
that's
time,
cool.
we were painting. So I learned how to paint, use the paint gun, and grout, bunch of stuff. So at that point, I was making what, like $100 a week, bro. At like 13, I was making
Right.
like $100 a week. And so my lesson from that is I learned. I remember the first time I bought my first pair of shoes with my own money. They were like,
Right, right,
I think it was like 89.99 or something like that.
right.
And
What kind of shoes did you buy?
they were either like some Nikes or some Reeboks or something
Right,
at the time.
right.
You know,
don't even remember.
yeah, you know.
25 years ago.
but that made me really proud because in what I said to myself was, man, my mama didn't have to buy me a pair of shoes, so that made me really value my money that I was making.
Right.
And so and that was a lesson I learned working with my uncle, just how to, appreciating,
Right.
working for your money, earning your money, spending your own money, and then it was good to take that burden off my mother,
Right, right.
which was the best part.
Well, I mean, I got the next question. You pretty much answered it in your statement when I was gonna basically ask you how did you cope and respond to the pressures you watched your parents go through at the time, but you kind of stepped into that when you basically said, when you were working, it basically helped you take the pressure off of your mom. You know what I'm saying? Between you, your brother, and your sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, your two brothers and your sister. So yeah, of course, at 13, being able to buy your own pair of shoes, you don't have to worry about mom spending extra money, and it's cause mom they did their best. You gonna get what you need. You gonna get
Yep.
what you want sometimes, but for the most part, you getting what you need. You fed. You got a roof over your head. And that's the love we have for moms, and I guess that will bring me to my next question is throughout life have you been met with some of the same trials or pressures that you watched your parents go through, and if so, how were they presented to you?
I mean, nah, maybe I can't really say how many times are different from my mother's to now to me. But I mean, as far as going through life, yeah, life struggles, of course. Um, so I always thought, well, my goal at the time was to become a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have went to college to become a biology teacher. I love science, love biology, right?
Right.
But going through school, going through high school, and not making all the best decisions, come um, senior year, didn't have enough credits to graduate, so I had to take a corresponding course over the summer, so I didn't get a chance to graduate and stuff. No, not regretting anything, but that kind of changed my direction in life because from that point it wasn't just an immediate transition from high school into college.
Right.
And then once I had that year of transition of not in school, we're basically just kind of taking this class through the mail like a correspondence course.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to work now. Now I'm basically like in the workforce, and I'm trying to make money in between time. So now I'm working, and it's been working until I moved to Texas, which was 2005. Continued to work, and then around 2008, I went back to college. I went to college for the first time, which was a community college, Richland College, and
Yes.
started taking computer courses.
And I don't mean to cut this man off, but I literally watched this dude work, go to college, work, go to college, come home, and I watched him handle his business. And as a friend of 15 years, um, it's man, just to watch how he's grown over the years, man, it has been a blessing to me. It has been a driving force in my life to want better. And yeah, man, this dude, he worked hard to get where he's at, and that is definitely something I'm proud to, call myself his friend. His brother, should I say? And I'm gonna ask you another question. What advice can you say has been helpful for you to get through becoming an adult, and why this particular advice help you?
Well, I have to say, my uncle Jackie. My uncle Jackie told me long time ago we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to tell us about fighting. And my uncle Jackie used to say, you know, uh, if you fight, you know, try not to fall, and if you fall, you get up. And that actually applies to other than fighting. That applies to life.
That is an across the scale conversation right there.
So I
Yeah.
mean, and it's just a constant battle, man. But you just try to stay on your feet. If you fall, you get up.
Right
You
on.
keep grinding,
Right
man.
on. Right on. Okay, cool. And I guess we kind of chimed in on this too with when we were talking about college and things like that. But what was the turning point in your life that made you just change, or I guess readjust your outlook or perspective on life?
Uh, Man, I would have to say, well, I mean, it's it's when I had this car accident back in the day, and made really changed my perspective on some things. It's the way you view life, the way you view people, the way you move. Your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things can happen, and it kind of puts your priorities into perspective. And for another time, but that was one of the turning points that made me rethink um, things and move towards a direction of wanting better in life and focusing on that and going after it. So
Right. Okay. Well, and that that does tend to push a person when you have a physical impairment, or not impairment, but you injure yourself, or a traumatic event. That's the word I'm looking for. That can definitely change your whole perspective on life, because you get kind of a, man, I couldn't have been, I almost could have been gone type situation. And what are some of the examples, your personal examples, just of being able to push through your trial?
again, I mean, just never give up. So I look at things like at this point, we've been through enough. I'm 38, so I've lived life, and I've known, and I realized that you go through things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the beginning you stress over it. You don't know how it's gonna work out, but it works out, because if it didn't, you wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here talking to you. So now I don't worry about it, because I know that it's just a phase. If something does happen,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a phase.
Right.
And as long as I stay on my focus and stay on my grind of where I am and where I've been, it'll just it'll just pass. So there's no reason to fret, no reason to stress over it. Just let it run its course. You keep moving.
Right on. Well, all right, that'll be all the time we have for right now, folks. I really want to appreciate you guys for watching. I want to appreciate my main man, Travis Wilkerson, for coming in and having the first conversation with me. We'll be back for more. You know what I'm saying? We looking for conversation us. Y'all have a good night, good day, and we love y'all. And I'm out.